Hello, my name's Kylo Goings, and I'm going to be pitching Shattered Melodies on behalf of AO Studio. This is my game pitch for the Game Design Masters Program Capstone. So, what's the hook? Honestly, take away a Berserker's sword, give him a guitar instead. So, this is really about the adventure of your character going through the world of Sonaris and saving his sister from the Dark Lord Discordia. And in doing so, you're trying to bring back the vibe to this desolate land. And the muses you're going to meet along the way are going to help you empower your combat experience and help you learn more about this world that you've been pulled into. So, a little bit about what the game is. It is a hack and rhythm action adventure. That sounds like a mouthful. It definitely is. But it's definitely going to be fun. So, with that being said, the rhythmic aspect of the hack and slash is that I wanted to take a gritty sort of feel, just like you would find in Kingdom Hearts or in Final Fantasy or in God of War, and I wanted to add a twist to it, a rhythmic aspect. So, with this game, the reason rhythm is so important is because the player would have to attack to the tempo of their muse spirit that they're going to be partnered with in order to connect their combos and create a dynamic combat experience. And that's really going to be showed a little bit better inside the prototype later on. So the unique pillars of this game, music and rhythm. Music rhythm is not only the thematic piece, but it's also a core pillar of the combat. So that is why it is at the top of the list for having not only unique music, but having that rhythm aspect to puzzles and to your combat experience to make it very strong in the core of the game. Combat, again, being a very core system and a very core aspect of the game. I definitely want the combat experience to be very unique and memorable, so that's why I added the rhythmic aspect to the combat. The enemies are also part of that, so you definitely want to have dynamic enemies. You don't want to have boring enemies. So I definitely want enemies to be strong, and I definitely want them to be really dynamic and difficult encounters to have. And then exploration. This is a new world for not only myself but the players. So I want people to really enjoy Sonaris and all the mysteries it has to unlock and show them. So this is actually the prototype build for what I have so far. This will show some of the key mechanics that I'm trying to implement for the game. So like I said, you have a guitar as your weapon of choice, and there's that hack and slash aspect to it with the flow of the weapon and the flow of the combat. You'll see in the right corner that there's a sort of a pulsing symbol. I turned off the music for the sake of the video pitch, but there's a music sound that goes along with the pulse. So as long as you're attacking with that rhythm, your character will start to perform more dynamic combos to fight stronger enemies. So some of the risks to this game, one is time management. With an 8-month production window, we got to be really strict about our features. So that's why I definitely want to lean into the combat and the rhythmic experience and have those things locked in earlier than later. The complexity of those features is a big risk as well. So because I'm trying to take something new, adding rhythm to hack and slash, I definitely want to lock that in early. So to assess that risk, I'm trying to make that the forefront of my production experience. Same with motivation. Again, this being a difficult thing to create, much like any other project game design, I definitely want to lean into those things sooner than later by hitting my milestones and staying consistent with my goals to meet the finish line. So where do we go from here? Honestly, just let us cook. So I'm gonna start talking about the systems I want to have built out during my milestone. So I would need a team of about 13 or so people. Most of those would be programmers, 3D artists, audio designers, and I would just really need one level designer, one UX designer, and one narrative designer. During that 8-month window, I've calculated the 100 hours that I would need for each of my patrons, um, and having their work hours below as needed. So I definitely need to make sure that I'm critical about those hours, like I said before, with the time management. So how that timeline is going to look is again between August and September, locking in those core mechanics with the combat, expanding on the worlds to give the player more to explore, because exploring is a big aspect to not just combat but to the experience overall. Those visual enhancements, the player experience. By that time in November, I want to have an alpha release to start testing with other people within the studio, polishing the game, to lead into the beta release and quality assurance. I'm trying to lock in when the beta is and when the alpha is early, so I have that time to create really refined systems. Thank you so much for your time, and I really hope you take into considering me producing this as my capstone. Thank you.